Hello friends, my name is Rahul Kuruvilla and the topic which I am going to take today is what is gravity. So before going to this presentation, we need to understand three important things. That is, who is Isaac Newton, then what is gravity, then the factors relating to gravity. So first is, who is Isaac Newton? So Isaac Newton, he was an English scientist who discovered gravitational force. So the story suggests that when he was sitting in a garden that is below an apple tree, so what he discovered that suddenly an apple fall onto the ground surface. So he just thought, why does this apple fall onto the ground? Why does this apple doesn't move towards the sky? So he did lot of researches, studies, and finally he came to a conclusion that there is a force of attraction because of the earth's surface, and this force of attraction is the gravitational force. That is the reason why the apple fall onto the earth's surface. Now, what is gravity? Gravity, it is actually a force of attraction between any two objects in this world or in this universe. It can be any two objects. It is a force of attraction between any two objects. Say we can give an example, that is a man throwing a ball. So when a man throws a ball, what happens? This ball will fall onto the earth's surface. This falling of the ball onto the earth's surface is because of the force of attraction, that is the gravitational force. Now, the falling of the ball onto the earth depends on the various factors. As I already mentioned, gravity is the force of attraction between any two objects. So why does this ball fall onto the earth? For that we need to understand why this ball fall onto the earth. Why does the earth doesn't come towards the ball? So we need to understand why does this ball when thrown will fall onto the surface of the earth. So before that we need to understand what are the three laws, Newton's laws. One is first law of Newton's law, which states that every object will remain at rest or in uniform motion in a straight line unless compelled to change its state by an action of external force. Which means that, say we can take an example, this is an object. This object will always remain in rest. When we are giving an external force, that is when I give a force like this will move. If I am not giving any force, it will remain always in rest. So that's what it says, that every object will remain in rest or in a uniform motion when it is compelled by an external force. So when I am giving external force, it will move unless, and if I am not giving external force, then it will remain in rest. That's the first law. Second law states that the acceleration of object is dependent on two variables, that is the net force of non-object and the mass. That is the movement, that is the speed of this object depends upon the weight of the object as well as the force, that is the force I am giving. That is the movement of this, that is the acceleration, that is the movement of this object depends upon the force which I am giving on this object as well as the weight of this object. So we have an equation that is F equal to ma, which means m is the mass, that is how much matter is an object, that is weight of an object. A is the acceleration, that is rate of change of velocity by the time. Velocity means distance by time, that is generally we can say that acceleration is something speed of the object. Okay. Third law states that every action has an opposite and equal reaction, which means that when a person walks on the ground, his legs will exert a force on the ground. And in opposite, what happens? The ground also will exert a force on the ground. So that means for every action there is an opposite and equal reaction. So when the person walks on the ground, in proportion there is an opposite force from the ground towards the leg. That is, when a person walks, there is a force exerted by the leg on the ground, and in opposite, what happens? There is a force which is exerted by the ground on the legs. That is the Newton's third law. Now, coming to as I already mentioned, certain factors on which gravity depends. That is, when a person throws a ball, why does this ball fall on the earth's surface? That depends on certain factors. See, here you can see that a ball is thrown, it will fall on the earth's surface. This is the ground surface. And we can take an example, that is ball is having 100 grams, just 100 grams. Weight of earth is tons and tons of gross. We can say that it has very high weight as compared with ball. So as per the second law, we have an equation that is F equal to ma. So from that we can say acceleration equal to F by m. So what happens? The acceleration, now we need to calculate the acceleration of the ball. So acceleration of ball will be F by 100 grams. 100 grams is the mass of the ball. So what happens as per numerically or mathematically, when there is a high value in the numerator, what happens? Automatically result will be high. And when the denominator has a low value, that is here the denominator is having a low value, as that is the weight of ball is 100 gram. Weight of earth is high, very high as compared to the ball. So here what happens, the acceleration of ball will be F by 100 grams. That is, since the denominator is having low value, what happens? Acceleration will be high. When we take the acceleration of earth, that is, this is earth, acceleration of earth, this is acceleration of ball. So here acceleration is high of the ball. Acceleration of earth will be low, because since the denominator is having high value, so automatic result will be low. So the acceleration will be low. So that's the reason. So when we compare both this, we can see the acceleration of ball is higher than the earth. That is, acceleration of ball is greater than earth. So what happens? Since the acceleration of ball is higher than earth, the ball will fall onto the earth. So this is what happens behind the gravity. So I hope you all understand. So what is the basics of gravity? If you have any doubts, please comment. Thank you.